Welcome to the Hank Russell invitation. Tonight, my special guest is there's a form of like this Mario Kaizo, and what it is that it's rooted in the old school Mario games from the early 90s, the Super Mario World. And I was very intrigued by this a couple of years ago when I first found this out. There was a gentleman that I met, and then it snowballed to the gentleman that I have tonight, hailing from Alberta, Canada. His name is Dave Follet, but you know him better as Kaizo Super Dave. Hey, Dave.
Yo, what's up, Hank? How you doing, man?
Man, I'm good. Man, I'm good. So we're just, like we're here. We've been talking about this for a couple weeks or whatever. Or actually, have I asked you about this when I was on
Yeah,
my
I, I,
journey?
I think like well over a year ago, the idea of this was sparked, and you said that sometime in the future, hopefully you'd have me on. So thanks for
Well,
having me.
yeah, no, I'm glad to do it, man. So, well, I mean, so how long have you been doing this form of like, streaming?
Streaming, it'll be 3 years next month. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. So what intrigued you to get into this, or how did you get into it
Um,
exactly?
so many years ago, close to a decade ago, at the time I was really into online poker. And I started streaming online poker not seriously. It was more of a way to hold myself accountable for the hands that I was playing, to talk myself through them out loud to make the best decision. At least that's what I told myself at the time. And like I said, I never took it seriously. I never had a professional overlay. It was very spur of the moment kind of thing. And I kind of fell out of love with poker. I just got
Mhm.
really bored of it,
Thank
and
God.
I got really into retro games. So I was just like I was very seriously into collecting. I got all the consoles and getting the FPGA consoles for all the different versions of those retro consoles, and I just thought I might as well do something with this new hobby that I have. And I started streaming on a different page called This Day in Gaming, which is still a page, but we haven't posted in years on there. And that was a page that I'd started maybe a year and a bit before the stream, where all it was like gaming history stuff. So like, oh, on this day in gaming, the Nintendo 64 was released in 1996 or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, but that was just kind of like a fun hobby kind of thing. And then I was also, and there's a really large group on Facebook. I think it's over 30,000 people in there now. It's the Nintendo NES Super Group, and a guy that I know started that group, and I was an admin because I was like so involved in the retro gaming community.
Mm-hmm.
He offered me to be an admin for his page, and I thought, you know what? I've been doing this streaming thing. I'm going to start a page that's dedicated to as like a companion piece for the group. And so that's why my name was originally the NES Superstream, as a companion piece to the NES Super Group on Facebook. But then once the stream started, it did fairly well when it first started just playing NES games and maybe some other retro games. And then Mario 35 came out, and I got super hooked on that, and so did my community. So it seemed, and we were playing races with viewers and doing that kind of thing. And then Mario 35 went away. Nintendo just pulled it. They're like, no, nobody can play this anymore, which is a huge bummer. And so I was left to fill this void of really intense Mario. And I'd known about Kaizo, but I didn't really see it as something that I could dive into myself. Like it just seemed like, oh, that's something like pro gamers do or something.
Mm-hmm.
But I started out slow, started playing the easier stuff, and I eventually worked my way up to the harder stuff that I play now.
Yeah.
But
So
that's a long version.
no, I love it. And the thing about it is that one of the reasons why I'm having guys like you on and other handful of others is that my concept has been to create value in other people. And you know, there seems like I look. Nick was the first one. If you Sir Nickington, he was the first guy I ever looked at, and then it kind of snowballed to you and Jamie Mangrit. Is that how you pronounce the last name?
Angry, yeah. Yeah.
Mangrich, yeah, absolutely, and then a handful of others. And I was like, we grew up in that era. You and I specifically, we grew up in that era where they said, video games are going to rot your brain.
Yeah.
There's no type of business or any type thing like that. And now people are
Yeah.
making money off of this.
Yeah, for sure. I famously, I've told the story many times on my own stream, but when I was 12 years old, it was 1996, and that was the year that the Nintendo 64 came out.
Yes.
And I'd asked my parents if I could have a Nintendo 64 for Christmas. And like, you know what? You're 12 now, and we think you're too old to play video games, so you got to find something else to get. Like, okay, all right,
Yeah.
fair enough.
No, I know it. I mean,
It's just so funny to me now.
well, I didn't have a Nintendo 64, and that's probably the reason why. But
Me neither. Yeah.
I think I did. I don't know, but it's been a minute. Let's read some comments here because Dave, we got a bunch of our people in here real quick.
Oh, cool.
Well, I got a couple of my people. Let's see. My friend Valerie says, "Hey Hank, Val here," and she also wanted to say hello, David. And then,
Oh, nice.
And then
I got it open.
And then Paul Duncan, man, let me tell you something. If you ever want to learn, this streaming platform is called Ecamm Live. And if you want to learn from him and Valerie are like two experts at this. And
okay, very cool.
But he's got the Mr. Moderator tag about him. He's probably in his mid 60s, but real cool guy, man. Absolutely
nice.
Love the guy to death. And
I see my whole mod squad's in here. What's up, guys?
Yeah, look, I mean, look at Hannah Joe
Jacob.
Long, ladies from Hannah and Pajamas. And then, of course,
formerly Hannah in Pajamas. Now she's just Hannah_Pajamas on Twitch.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that. And then, of course, we recognize this face. I'm having a blank. Who is that?
That's Hannah. Yeah, that's Hannah. That's Hannah Paris. That's
Hannah
different.
Paris.
I have two mods named Hannah.
Yes. Yeah. And then, of course, the legend himself, Mr. Brett Bacon. Hello, Brett. There he is, my man. Let's see. And, of course, Valerie says, I bought my son all the consoles.
Nice. That's a very, very, very good of you, Valerie.
Well, here's the irony though about that is that Valerie's not that old, so her kids probably have like all the ones from 2000 and older. So
right,
so Valerie's not that much older than I am. So
yeah, my first console was an Atari. Well, at least that was the first one that was in my house. My older brothers, but yeah, a little bit of a different story.
Mod Squad love, yes indeed.
Hey,
there she is. And then of course look who's in here. I was just talking about him earlier, watching with my wife.
Hey, what's up, Nick?
Hey Nick, what's up, brother? And of course my man, of course once again my brother, Mr. Brett Bacon. I feel like that guy is like everybody's friend, and
Brett's a super nice guy, man.
Oh, I wish I need to get his phone number and talk to him just to say hello. He's the one guy he's one of the few guys I just want to talk to and say hello because I don't know. It's just interesting. I've talked to Chris Brady on the phone and let's see. Who else have I talked to on the phone? I've talked to Nick Fury. Or, no, not Nick. Is it Nick or is it just Fury?
Aaron. Fury the Blind Bugler?
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah. Everyone just calls him Fury though. So I get it. Not really knowing his first name that well.
There you go. It's... You see and those that are watching this that have no idea what we're talking about, one of the things about it is that it seems like it's a good community to be a part of because there's new people that come in every week, but then you also have some of the oldies that are the goodies.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, for sure.
Let's see. And Valerie, let's see. I love it. Everybody's commenting on this. Let's see. My son is participating at Super Smash Con 2023 in Virginia. He made it through the first day and is playing again tomorrow. So fun.
Yo, GG's. That's awesome.
Yes. And that's slang for good game, Valerie. But and then, of course, Hannah says, make sure the phone call volume is full because Brett is very soft-spoken. I love it. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Brett's just absolute. I mean, he's so not mysterious, but he is. So. But
no, Brett's a very supportive person, not only in my community but a lot of communities on Facebook specifically. So we all really appreciate him.
I need to have Hannah on there as well. I haven't had a female guest yet, and Hannah probably needs to be my first.
Sounds like a good opportunity.
Yeah, good opportunity. And plus, people don't know much about Twitch. They really don't.
Yeah.
At least not the gaming part.
Yeah.
Of course,
sure.
of course. Then again, I'm a millennial with backache, so that might be the reason why I've never heard of it. That's what I tell
That's
myself.
fair. I thought all this stuff was going to come much later in life,
Absolutely. So, all right. So, what does the term Kaizo mean? Or do you know, or is it just like?
I don't know for certain, but from what I've heard, it is a Japanese word that means to reconstruct or to rearrange. So, really, it any Mario ROM hack, because there's standard Mario hacks too, where it's it's like someone recreated Mario World and it's like a fun whatever, and some of them are really hard or whatever. But then there's Kaizo, and Kaizo is a very specific style where it's like a every level is a very specific set of moves that you need to get through it, to get to the end. But technically, by the definition of Kaizo, all ROM hacks are Kaizo, I guess.
Okay, all right, that makes sense. And hacks is another term for like what, just built like the buildings.
Yeah, ROM hacks. So the digital file of a video game is called like that you would find on a Nintendo cartridge or something like that, on an old one. It's called a ROM. And that's just the game file that the chipset in the console reads and the game is played.
Mhm.
But so ROM hack is the term for people take these games, they open up the code of it, and there's programs that allow people to do it much easier than I'm making it sound. But yeah, programs to help you edit the game and basically create a new game from the assets within the game that you're hacking, quote unquote.
Okay. Got another comment. Michael Winter says, "What's up, boys?"
Hey, what up, Michael?
Is he in the group?
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
especially on YouTube too. Like it's harder for me to recognize. Sometimes I'll see the profile picture or something and recognize a little more. But
okay, yeah, I'm just trying to figure out, because like obviously I know just about everybody that's walked through here so far, but there will come a day when this grows more and there'll be like.
I thought that was Windemic. Sorry, Hank. I didn't mean to speak over you there.
No, you did right. No, yeah.
I didn't mean to be unprofessional.
No, you're not unprofessional. That's Windemic. Wait a second. No, because Michael, is that him too? Okay, wait a second. Okay. Wait a second.
The hang. What do you call this? Hang loose or something?
Oh yeah.
Anyway, that and the What's Up Boys. That's what gave it away for me.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. Okay, because okay, everybody's saying that. Wait a second though, but he commented last week, on my show, and he was I think he was just Michael Dwayne in there, because that's my and by the way, Michael, you're coming on my show. I want you to come on my show. I really want you to come on, man. Like I just, I got a whole plethora of people that I want to get to know on here, and everybody, that's part of, like I said, I mean, there's no video games being played on this podcast, but we want to get to know people that like actually do this for, Oh, look.
There he is. Yeah.
Look at that. He said wrong account. That's hilarious. Okay. What's up, Michael? So let me ask you something. All right, and you don't have to ask. All right, if this is a personal question, I apologize, and just don't answer.
I'm a pretty open book.
Is this as good as having a part-time job?
Yeah, I would say so, for sure.
Okay.
It allows me, like, I couldn't quit my day job and just stream full time. I couldn't do that. There's no way I could do that. But it does give me some wiggle room for allows my wife to stay home to take care of our kids.
Yes.
And it's a little tighter than if she went back to work or something like that. But I think having her at home with our kids is pretty valuable to us. And we live in a really small town and stuff, so we don't have a lot of services and stuff available. But yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, I've talked to Windemic, Michael Dwayne. I've talked to him, and he has a job. The only one that I think is Jamie. Jamie does it full time, right?
Which Jamie? Jamie
Mangert.
Oh, Jamie Mangert. Yeah, Mangert does it full time. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because I know Nick does. I know over at Sir Nickington does it. but I know Michael has a job because it's really hard to but he's got kids himself too.
Yeah.
So you know
Yeah, and that's the other thing too. Like if my wife were working full time, I may not even have the time to stream. You know what I mean?
right.
She's able to do the things with the kids during the day and be a rock star mom at home, so I can do
Yes.
these things in the evening.
No, I love it. I mean, 3 kids, right? I mean, I know you have a teenage daughter, and then you've got Holden.
And yeah, two young boys in diapers. Yeah.
Holden and Teller, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I did my research or did my memory exercises.
Yeah. Holden is 2.5, and then Teller is, I think it'll be 9 months next week.
My man, that's what I'm talking about. That's at my age, I should probably have kids by now, but let's face it. I mean, it hasn't always worked out for people, but
yeah. And you know what, man? I think there's something to be said for living. It's a much more free life if you don't have children. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah,
it's a huge commitment.
It is. We got more people coming in real quick. Let's see. Jen Egerton, she says hi, friends.
In dubs.
And then of course the Hannah Paris just said hi, Jen. And then of course showing love, Hannah Long showing love to Kelsey. Absolutely.
Nice.
Yeah, it's Queen Kelsey. Hashtag. Let's see. Nick says, I have a job besides streaming, so it's kind of both part-time. Okay. See, I'm getting this. I should have asked this. I mean, it's one less thing I got to worry about asking him on the stream.
That's what we're here for, though,
Yeah, exactly. But I'm glad he corrected me on that one. I know I talked to him the other day, and he was telling me he was like, he's big into music and stuff like that too. So,
yeah.
Why don't we play? We can't play music on streams. That's the problem. That's why we're doing this.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be awesome if you could. It'd be fun to just low key have some awesome tunes, some of your favorite music just playing on a low level in the background kind of thing. But
what kind of music did you play?
The bands that I played in, the last handful of bands, I would say were like I don't know if metal is the right term, but more like progressive hard rock, maybe that might be a way to put it. Something like Tool, kind of along those lines. Not quite as super trippy and ambient or whatever, but just kind of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's probably good you stopped playing. I heard the lead singer of Tool had his hip replaced because of him stomping his foot a lot.
Yeah, I heard that too. Yeah, he's a strange guy.
Oh yeah,
but yeah, Tool, Mastodon, Faith No More. Those are kind of bands I'm into.
Yeah, Faith No More. Gosh, that's like an '80s band. That's an '80s band, but they were like one of the first hip hop rap bands.
Yeah, everyone thinks they were like a one-hit wonder, but they were so much more than that. But yeah,
no, they were big on the skateboarding circuit and stuff like that too.
Oh, okay.
So they
I wasn't into them when they were big. I got into them much later, but
yeah. Well, you and I probably weren't old enough to remember when they were huge, though.
No, just like a vague memory of. I remember the music video with the dude, singing, and then the fish flopping at the end of the video. I don't know if you remember that, but
oh yeah, I remember that. I mean, I've
kind
seen
of an iconic music video.
Oh, I've seen it. I don't remember it, but I mean when it happens. But I remember seeing it. But and going back to the stream, by the way, I love the fact that everybody can kind of joke around with each other in a very tasteful way in this stream.
Yeah. It's a big struggle though. There's a lot of people can be. I don't want my stream to be absolutely crude and just shocking humor and disgusting, inappropriate, whatever. But at the same time, I still want to be able to dabble in those subjects if you do it just the right amount with, you know what I mean? I think it can be done somewhat tastefully, and yeah, it's kind of a rowdy place, but we have a lot of fun.
Right. Well, you could put you could put only so much steak sauce on the steak, and then if you put too much, then you're basically drowning in A1 sauce.
That's right. Yeah.
You don't want to ruin the steak.
Yeah. Too much of anything is not good.
No. At least from my experience, that's for sure. But,
yeah.
So what is So let me ask you something. For those that are listening at home, you probably won't understand, but like, are you shooting for partner?
No, no. At one time, I was like hoping that we could, build up some momentum and maybe push towards that. But I've been pretty much, so there's a requirement you have to have a certain amount of engaged followers,
Yes.
which it's weird because some people get that engaged followers with like an average of 40 viewers, and some people it takes them 150 to 200 to get it. It's very strange, and not super consistent. But
Absolutely.
anyway, the benchmark that I need to get to that, I've been sitting at about a third of that for a very long time, and it doesn't move around much at all.
I remember when Nick was shooting for it. I was literally cheering out of my chair when I thought he was
Yeah,
going
me
to
too.
when I thought he
Me
was going
too.
to get it. I was like, I wanted to tell him that the other day. Forgot to, but I wanted to tell him that when we talked on the phone the other day, and I was just like, "Come on, people, let's, you know,
Yeah.
I mean, let's get it. Let's get him there." But
Yeah, I will say, I consider Nick as one of my first friends that I made, and I consider him one of my best friends in this industry.
yes,
Nick is a really good dude and a really entertaining guy as well. You guys should check him out if you haven't already. Uh, but yeah, um,
no,
I was really really pushing for Nick. He's probably the one guy that I wanted the most to get out of all my friends.
absolutely, I wanted him to. That being said, we've got an excellent question here. Can you talk about the business of streaming and how you monetize what you are doing? I don't know much about it.
So, for guys like me and say lower level than me, it's basically 100% reliant on donations from viewers, and they can become a subscriber to your page, meaning that they pay $5 a month every month, and it's just a renewing payment that comes out for them. So, like right now, I have little over 500, or excuse me, little over 100 subscribers, and depending on how they subscribe, like if they subscribe on a phone or PC, it depends on how much they get. But
Mm.
I basically get about $3.50 on that $5 per sub or whatever. And then on top of that, people send stars. So people, Facebook will sell, say $50 worth of stars. They sell it at an increased rate depending on how you buy it. You might pay 52 or maybe even $60 for those
Mm.
$50 worth of stars, and then they donate them that way. But then there's people above me. There's also opportunities to run ads, and people make a little bit of money off ads. I don't think it's anything crazy unless you have a really high viewership, which is pretty rare, especially the type of games that me and my friends kind of play.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's potential sponsorships and stuff like that as well. So that would be the main things. I can't really think of anything else besides that off the
Oh.
top of my head.
I'm sorry. I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at what Hannah Long says. Didn't you hear that, Brett?
But
And then, of course, jumping on here right now, your wife.
Oh yeah, that's right. There she
Oh,
is.
Kelsey, thanks for letting me borrow him for a little bit. And then, of course, hello from Hannah Paris. So there you go. You know, so what is so let me ask you. I'll try not, like I said, I'm trying not to get too personal, but these are good questions as far as like people that want to do this.
Sure.
How supportive is your wife, Kelsey?
She's very supportive of it. That being said, like it's not always perfect either, right? And
Sure.
like there's times where she just wants like I have Friday nights. Tonight is my one night off. Although since I haven't been doing the KSL, I get Saturday and Sunday nights to myself as well. But other than that, like we don't get any time with each other. So there's the odd Tuesday night or something where she's had a rough day with the kids or whatever, or maybe something's going on in the background and I want to take a day off, or she wants me to take a day off. But I'm like, I know what the best decision for me is to keep streaming right now because, depending on what's happening. Um, so it's definitely a bit of give and take. She is very understanding and very supportive of me and what I do, but I would also say that I am also very understanding position that she's in, having to sacrifice her time with me. So I'll say that.
Absolutely. Nick's showing us love. Yeah, Nick, we love you, man. We got you. Let's see. Valerie says, thank you for answering that. How often do you stream to get that revenue?
So, a streamer, it's up to them really. You could stream once a week if you want, and that's just you do it on once. Once you're monetized, you well, I guess you do have to keep up a certain amount of stats. Like you have to stream, I think, a couple times every 2 weeks or something like that to keep your level up status or whatever it is on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I stream 6 days a week, but it's up to whoever's doing it. And like the other thing too, as a streamer, I don't stream 6 days a week because if I stream 6 days a week, I'm going to make more money if I stream 3 days a week. In that argument, I would say that it's not much difference. The amount you stream, I would say, but the idea in streaming so consistent at a higher volume, let's say, and not that I stream at a high volume, but to try and stay consistent, the idea is to build a known brand and for have the community, the streaming viewers community in general. They can rely on your consistent time and they know where you are, and try and build a community that way and get some momentum. So yeah.
Okay. I mean,
a little bit all over the place there, but
no, it's. I mean, it's. I mean, I didn't even know that. I didn't even know that, and I've been following this for like 2 years. So, Kelsey says, "No problem at all, Hank." Well, there you go. And then let's see, Jen Edgerton. She says, hashtag Doritos sponsored Dave. That's such good. What's your favorite flavor one?
Oh, Mandarin, hands down. It's the best.
Yeah, I like Mandarin. The pineapple one's pretty good too, though.
Yeah, I like the pineapple. I go Mandarin, grapefruit's number 2, and then lime's probably my number 3.
You know what's ironic about that is that Doritos has been around for a long time, but they were sold at like ghetto gas like hood gas stations, and now it's starting to become a little bit more mainstream all of a sudden.
Yeah, it's funny. I kind of got into them before they were at mainstream either. There's this like burrito place here in Canada, Mucho Burrito, and it was the only place I'd ever seen them before. And I always like trying like different drinks and stuff that I never tried before. I'm like, oh, I'll try that one, and yeah, I was hooked. It's good stuff.
Did they have Jones Soda up there?
Yep.
I remember when I was a teenager, I used to drink Jones Soda a lot, but then when I got in like my late 20s, it was too sugary for me,
Yeah, I used to like their and I probably would still like it now in small doses, but their clear cream soda, it's really good.
I know, but it's like my feet will fall off just looking at it, much less.
Yeah, that's fair.
I can't, but Doritos has just enough to make it awesome.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Yeah. Dave is a trendsetter. You know it.
You should, man. There's got to be somebody I could write for that. I need to write somebody and be like, look, you need to sponsor this guy.
I've had a few people reach out on my behalf to try and help get that thing going, but no luck yet. We'll see. I'm not giving up yet.
It just didn't work out. That's insane. We should really keep pushing that though. But I don't know. They've probably gone from like $100,000 a year in sales to a few million. So.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they do quite well.
Absolutely. So, I was gonna say, what was the hardest hack you ever played? By the way,
hardest hack I've ever played is the one I'm currently playing, is Sheffy 2. Yeah, before that though, and I haven't finished it yet, but I would say before that would be Event Shell. It's the hack that I played before that, like the big grind hack that I did.
That Bowser one, we watched you do it for days, right? You remember when you were doing that Bowser one? We watched it for days.
Yeah, I do, yeah.
And
14 and a half hours, I believe, is what I spent on Grand Poo World 2 Bowser.
That was fun to watch, though. I mean, I know it was frustrating. I know it gets frustrating because I remember when Tej was playing it a couple months ago. Man, you would have thought he had just won the Super Bowl when he won that thing.
Feels good, man. Like it sucks. It's so frustrating to sit there and you know exactly what it is you got to do, but like the techniques that you have to do are just so fast and so precise. It's very easy to get super frustrated. So when you finally do pull it off, it's just this huge rush of like victory. Like you can't believe it. It's just it feels really good. That's what drew me to Kaizo. That's what got me hooked on Kaizo. It's
You know,
that risk versus the reward thing, you know?
I mean, I could see that. I mean, the only thing is that I know we've talked about this before. You know, I'm thinking about starting my own here once I get my stuff together. As far as like PC, you know, I know you really can't do it through Apple compatibility, right?
Oh yeah, you can.
Can you?
Yeah. Um, if you have questions about streaming on a Mac, I would reach out to Beatley if he doesn't mind me saying so.
Who is
He streams from a Mac. Thomas Mendenhall.
Thomas Mendenhall? Wait a second. Is he the one from New York with the no?
He's in the Northeast, but I'm not sure if I think he's like kind of by Wisconsin. I know a buddy of mine in Wisconsin, and I know he lives close to him, but I'm not exactly sure where.
So you can do it with Apple. That's awesome. But yeah, my thing is that I want to, you know, I want to be able to do it, but I just don't like. All I have is Apple compatibility because that's what Ecamm Live that I do the streaming through, and a couple of people that are talking in the group or that are talking in the chat, they are Ecamm users, and I can't really, I can't do it through any other form. But yeah, absolutely. So what's the guy's name again, though?
Thomas Mendenhall.
I'll yeah, we'll talk off the stream. I'll get
Yeah, yeah,
details, but
yeah. I can
I'm,
put you in touch with him.
well, I appreciate it, man. But let's go back to the comments real quick. Dave is a trendsetter. Yeah, absolutely. He's in Indiana. Okay, so that makes sense, or Indianapolis, or whatever. We'll we'll figure that out. Brett knows everything. Brett knows. I'm so glad Brett's
Hannah's
here.
gonna message his page link.
Let me see. Oh, did she say that? Okay, yeah, I can message you on his page. Thank you, Hannah. I appreciate it, and I'm sure he'll be interesting. That would be interesting to talk to, just because of the Apple compatibility. Because
Yeah, it's very rare that I think he's the only guy I know of, and I know like a shit ton of streamers, and he's the only one that I know that streams from a Mac.
oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
So I just, like I said, I mean, everybody I know. I mean, I've talked to Nick. I've talked to Chris Brady. I've even wrote Hannah. I've even wrote Hannah Long and her husband. I believe she told me that she does it through PC as well. So
Yeah,
you know, so
I've always
definitely
been a PC guy.
is PC more. I mean, like as somebody who's never had a PC, I've had Apple all my adult life. Is it really like is it less expensive, or is it just like easier to access?
It's more customizable for sure.
Okay.
I think that's the biggest thing is that you can customize every component that you want. It is a little bit cheaper depending on which route you go, and all of that. But
Mhm.
what I find with like a PC compared to Mac, at least from my perspective and my experience, playing on a PC is almost like if you could open up developer mode on Mac and open up more capabilities and allow you to do more things with file management and stuff like that. I That's kind of how I feel like a desktop is versus Mac.
Absolutely. And Hannah answered my question. I use PC, but I'd be lost without my husband. Yeah. By the way, you know, when I have her on the show, I have a feeling that he's gonna be in the side, like poking her and stuff like that. So,
Yeah, yeah.
but although I found out that him and I, our favorite pro football team is the Oakland Raiders. So him and I would get along
Oh,
just, yeah.
there you go.
I found that out. You know, we're both Oakland Raiders fans. I can't remember if Hannah said she was too, but Mrs. Follet says that makes sense to me. Hannah, haha. Okay, very good, very good. So, what is so do you? Is there a goal? I'm curious. Is there a goal, or is it just kind of like staying consistent and then doing things that you need to? Or I mean, I'm trying to think how to explain it. Like, are you just trying to stay consistent and hope that something different happens? Or are you cool with like now?
I mean, on one level, I'm I don't know. I feel like I'd be lying if I said I'd be cool if if it were to stay here. Not because I'm not grateful for the success that I've had so far or anything like that. But I think it's just want to grow and grow and grow. Right, that's the goal.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. We're playing around with some different ideas right now. I did a stream on Twitch last night to try and dip my toe in the community over there, and I'm gonna maybe explore some with that new Kick platform as well. But yeah, I mean, yeah, there's definitely some things that I could be doing more to help. Like if I took more time away from streaming and not focus so much on playing games and streaming, maybe did a little more video editing and stuff like that behind the scenes. But I really enjoy playing the games and hanging out in the chat. So that's what my big focus is.
I'm going to keep it 100 with you. I like video games, but half the reason why I want to do a stream is so I can have people to talk to.
Yeah.
Not to put a pity party, but at my age, most people my age are, getting married with kids. The communication is a little bit lower, and especially like I remember Hannah Jo wrote me. I think when Hannah Jo Long wrote me, I think this was about 6-8 months ago, and she just said, "I'm so glad to have you in the community." Whenever we talk, and that almost made me cry because
That's awesome, man.
Oh yeah.
Oh, this community, like not only my community, but like the Facebook gaming community as a whole, like I've been brought to tears many times, man. It's pretty powerful stuff for sure.
Absolutely. It's there's no way that you can, not like, especially like during the pandemic, especially. I know that you started during the pandemic or when the pandemic started?
Yeah. It was, September of 2020.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So September 2020. Okay. Because it's funny because December of 2020 is when I started this project with my podcast, and I'm just now able to get off the ground recently. So, I wish that I could have had more of a momentum and known more before, so that I can, so that I could have had a little bit more momentum during the pandemic when people were still shut in.
Yeah.
So it was.
Yeah, that's when I started. The beginning of the pandemic is when I kind of started toying with the idea of streaming, and then, like, say, about 9 months later, I set up a page and took it serious.
Yeah, absolutely. So let me ask you something. I think I know one of them. I don't know, or it's all faded to me because I try not to keep the negative in. But what is one of the most negative things that's ever happened in your chat?
Oh man, like it depends. There's different varieties of bad things to happen in a streamer's chat. Like, we get trolls that come in and they'll just, like, we had a guy last night. He's like, "Hey, if I send you stars, can you insert graphic gross thing here?" Right? Like, trying to get me to do something like that or whatever. He's just been that. Obviously, this guy's just being a troll or whatever. And that's just more annoying when it's like, another attention-seeking whore that. You know what I mean? I meant attention whore, and then
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Yeah. But but on the other side of it too is like sometimes you may get someone as great as it is to connect and make great friendships within streaming community.
Mhm.
Sometimes you'll get an oddball person that you don't know very well, and they come in and they overshare something that's maybe way too personal or just not really appropriate for to bring up in a public space like that. Yeah, I don't want to give any specific examples, but
no, you don't have to.
But yeah, it can create for an awkward situation where it's like, I don't want to be cruel and mean to this person, but also this isn't the time or the place for this to be happening right now.
Yeah. And I've got a pretty good sense of humor, but you don't see it in person as much, but you definitely see it through my chats. And you've noticed that, like with my dad.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I know you like to goof around.
Yeah. But the thing about it is that, like, I've taken it too far a few times. Like, I'm like, okay, I shouldn't have said that, or I forget that not everybody's from Memphis, Tennessee, where everybody talks like that.
Yeah, I think we're all a little bit guilty of that sometimes, you know. But
Mm,
I think as long as we can try and be self-aware and notice the times when we maybe do cross the line, and then sort of change course and readjust.
of course, of course.
What's up,
Uh,
Robert? Good to see you, dude.
yeah, absolutely. Let's go through the comments real quick. So yes, absolutely. Raider Nation, just win, baby. Yep, Robert Smith, I see you, brother. I see you. And then of course, there you go. Let's see. And then, oh, I'm so glad you felt. Of course, absolutely, Hannah. It meant the world to me. I don't. It's funny how when you get younger, when you're younger, you have so many people around you, but then when people get married, have kids, you just don't.
Dude, my best friend
Yeah.
is a guy named Devin, and he's basically my only friend.
Okay.
And like, I mean, local real friend, you know what I mean? And he lives 45 minutes away, first of all. And I haven't seen him in 5 years. We talk every day, but I haven't seen the guy in 5 years because life's just busy. You know what I mean? I don't take it personally. He doesn't take it personally. It's just kind of the way it is, you know?
No, and 45 minutes is not close either. So
No, that's what I mean. But
exactly.
yeah, we still chat every day. So
Let's see a couple more comments here. Jeff, this community has become some of the greatest friends I have never met. I love it.
what up, Jeff? I didn't see your comment there. Good to see you, bud.
Let's see, and then of course, ditto Jeff from Kelsey Follett, your wife. Let's see, and then yeah, let's see. Love my super fam. Absolutely, Jen. That's fantastic. And then Robert says, yes, the super fam is the best. Oh man. Glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. And so, all right. So you said you're not streaming 6 days a week right now, though, right?
I am. Yep. 6 days a week.
Wait a second. Well, what are the other days?
I stream. Friday's the only day that I take off. When the KSL's running, I do 2 streams on Saturdays, and then I take Sunday off as well. But I'm still doing 6 streams a week.
Oh, I wasn't paying attention.
And besides the odd time when I'll take a random night off in the middle of the week because maybe I got called out to work or having a bad day or something. But
Sure. No, it's understandable. I just can't imagine. Oh, hold on one second. I love it that Michael's still in here. Super fam for life. Yes. I'm going to tell you something about him. He is one of my favorite people to talk to as well, just like everybody else. He's, man, when he answers go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I told Michael, I've told Windemic this himself. He knows this story, but I came across Windemic's page before he had ever even streamed, and he was really smart with his page. What he did was he made like a promo video, like saying coming soon, like I'll be streaming some Kaizo Mario or whatever it was. I don't remember exactly how it went down or whatever, but and as soon as I saw that video, I was immediately impressed. I was like, this guy's pro. This guy's legit. He's going about it the right way. So I got a lot of respect for Michael, and he's a good dude as well.
He does it in the morning now, and some days I can catch him and some days I can't. But I'm glad because there was like a 6-month period there he didn't stream at all, and I was very disappointed. And when he finally started streaming again, I reached out to him. This is probably about 6-7 months ago, and I was just so happy that he was gracious enough to take my call. And I'm gonna call him again soon, and I'm gonna have him on the show.
Nice.
I'm gonna have him on the show. I want to. I really do. And
yeah,
the thing about it is that he is so genuine, like on the phone as he is on the stream.
Right.
And most guys are like. I bet if I talked to Jamie Mangrich, he'd probably be the same way off the phone as he is on the phone, or excuse me, off the stream as he is on the stream.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah. I've had a lot of chats with Jamie off stream. I had one yesterday actually.
Absolutely, and of course, everybody concurs with me. We love Windemic. Eric Miller, yo,
Dizzle for Rizzle.
Do I know him?
He doesn't stream consistently on Facebook, and I think Eric, have you been dabbling in Twitch maybe? But Eric is one of my very long time community members from way back, way back.
Well, thank you, Eric, for showing up. But yeah, then big truth, Hannah. Absolutely, yeah. No, it's when like you did the hit. You were the first one I saw with the hitbox, but then Michael was using the keyboard, and now he's got a hitbox that you made, right?
I did, yeah. I made that hitbox for Michael. You bet.
How many hitboxes have you made now?
I've made 2 for myself.
Okay.
So 1, 2. Then Windemix made one for Speed Demon. I made one for Teej with a Feather. I made one for That Sir Nick. I don't know if Nick's still here or not. And that would be it, I think. I feel like I'm. Oh, and I made another one for a viewer, James. Did I say Teej with a Feather?
You did.
Okay. And James Bales, a viewer of mine, I made one for him as well.
Right. Well, Teej with the Feather is one of the ones that I watch probably the second most. He's probably the one I watched the second most. And
oh, okay.
I was, so he's I just haven't paid attention. Is he doing the hitbox while he's doing it now, or is he still using the remote control? I don't know.
Teej?
Yeah.
Is that who you're asking about?
Yeah.
Teej, he's kind of I think he played some the other day, but for the most part he's still playing on controller.
Yeah.
But Windemic and Speed Demon, I think both of those guys have been exclusively on hitbox since they got it.
Yeah, well, I could see Windemic doing it because Windemic's actually really good at the keyboard, so that's probably wasn't a huge transition.
For sure.
Oh, the other day Nick was on there and he was talking about, and you were there, as a matter of fact. He said he was taking a break from the hitbox, which,
yeah,
I guess it's like confusing, or his hands or whatever.
It is. It feels very unnatural until it doesn't. It's just one of those things that you just got to put in the repetitions with it. So I totally get like wanting to like, let me take a break and just enjoy and relax and play some Mario, and then I can get back to focusing on developing the skill at a later date.
Tell you the truth, the only thing that would be a bitch for me would be like the table, like putting it on a table, because like my table is like, I'm in a very small space. My place. I don't know if I told Windemic about this, but my place burnt down about, I'd say about 5 months ago now, and that's a different story. But man, like my space is extremely small right now. What I'm in right now, like I couldn't even afford to put a table in there big enough to put a hitbox on there. So space is everything. It seems like with that hitbox.
It really is, man. Sorry to hear about your place as well, by the way.
Thank you, I appreciate it. That means a lot.
That's awful. But yeah, I and another thing, I didn't mention this before, but I don't know if you knew this, Hank, but I stand when I stream. Like I don't sit down in a chair. I'm standing when I'm streaming.
Really?
Yeah, I play standing up.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So what happened about a year ago? Like I just heard about the benefits of using a standing desk, and like it's supposed to be so much good for your mental cognition and your focus and all this other stuff. So it's like, oh, that's really interesting to me. I'm really curious about it. And I didn't get a stand-up desk, but what I did was I got some monitor mounts where I could place them up really high. And then I got a podium because I play on a hitbox. I got like basically it's a shelf turned on its side, but it's functioning as a podium. And I just have the hitbox on there, and I just stand here and play.
Are you standing right now?
I am. Yeah.
That's just interesting. I just total mind blower.
I don't know when it was. Maybe 6 months ago. Maybe not quite that long ago. Maybe it was only 3 or 4 months ago. I was like, oh, I want to go back to sitting in a chair because it is kind of tiring, and like your legs and your feet are super tired by the time you're done standing there for 3 hours at a time or whatever. So I thought, I'm gonna try sitting again. And while I did enjoy sitting again, it was nice to relax a little more while I played. It also, I started getting back problems because I'm hunching over this hitbox trying to play, right? I'm not, whereas if I'm standing, I have great posture the entire time for the most part. And it's just much easier on my back.
Okay. I mean, I just can't imagine, of course I'm a little bit circumferentially challenged, so to speak. Like I'm a little bit hefty. So I can't stand up very long. Not anymore. No, not until I get this weight off. I'm telling you, man, like, every time I step on the scale, it goes, what the fuck? But Let me quit self.
I'm having the opposite problem right now. My weight's always fluctuate quite a bit, but I'm on some medication and just having a hard time like having much of an appetite.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm like less than 190 right now, which is like insane. Like I would say from in the last decade, almost always my average was probably like 220 or something like that.
Yeah. And how tall are you?
I'm just about 6'1".
Okay, you're same height as me. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So I'm 6'1", 6'2", somewhere, give or take, depending on which gas station I walk out of. But
right.
But no, it's and it's good that we're talking about this because the one thing that we have to like, I didn't know about the mental, like you said, mental. When you stand up, it has to do with mental stability or clarity.
Yeah, I said cognition, I think is what I said. But yeah, it's supposed to be like you're supposed to be your reaction time is supposed to be more increased, and you're more alert, more focused, that kind of thing. It's supposed to just be better for your brain function, basically.
I had no idea until you said that. I mean,
Yeah.
Okay, obviously the sitting is the new smoking. Everybody's heard that expression.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I'm a big cigar and bourbon guy, but
yeah, well.
Now
I like to smoke.
Yeah, well, I haven't had a glass of bourbon all summer. It's too hot. It's hotter than a crack pipe on the 1st and 15th out there, but it's just See, you don't know. I actually write most of those dad jokes.
There you go.
I actually write most of those dad jokes that I put on the jokes and stuff like that I put on there. I've got a pretty good wit when it comes to comedy, but no, I love it because that's excellent information because anything that, once again, I just said this earlier, like this podcast is about people creating value in other people. And by you saying that, you even if you reach one person that does that, I mean, whether it's, and it may not have to do with video game streaming. It could be with like the workspace that they're in their personal lives or whatever. They might want to like have a standing desk.
Yeah, for sure. I don't think it's not going to be for everybody. Like, if I was a full-time streamer and I streamed 8 hours a day or something like that, it might be tough for me to stand the whole time. I might have to get a different setup where I actually have a desk that lowers and goes back up kind of thing. But if you can stand it, I think there's lots of benefits to it.
Absolutely.
I also found that like, and I noticed it a lot when I first switched from sitting to standing, is that I just felt like I had more energy, like just even with engaging with my chat and stuff like that. But
yeah, I mean, it's probably easy. And even if you like had to go pee or whatever during the stream, you could probably do like a push up real quick to get a little bit more energy. And then,
yeah.
I mean, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm right. I don't know, but I can't imagine, like I said, I can't stand up longer than 30 minutes. That's about as long as I can stand. Like, and luckily at my job, I am able to, I'm able to sit down in between jobs and stuff like that while I'm driving around. So that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. I was mentioning that Kelsey was saying that, and my back is 100% better from standing, and she's 100% correct. Like, I struggle keeping my back healthy as it is. I do a lot of driving at work, and when I'm not driving, I'm pulling wrenches and stuff like that. So it is hard on your back and all that.
What did I say? We're millennials with back pain.
Yeah, man. It's from all kinds of things too, but I guess that's everybody.
Absolutely. Let's see. Let's get these comments out the way. And very true. I'm in Florida, and it's 117 degrees.
Jesus,
he's dead. If he walks outside,
Rob,
he's dead. I've been to Phoenix.
Go
ahead.
I saw a video today. A guy in Arizona. It was 104 degrees, and that's nothing compared to 117.
No.
It was 104 degrees, and he cooked a sirloin steak in the windshield of his car, like on the dash in front of the windshield. He had a steak there. Got it up to medium rare temp.
Absolutely. No, I'm telling you, Satan's complaining right now, but
yeah.
Let's see. Kelsey says, "Oh, so gross, Robert. I'd die." Yeah. Oh, what's the weather up there like right now? Or what's the temperature up there?
Here it's pretty good. I don't know what it is in Fahrenheit, but it's getting like 30 degrees during the day, which, let's see if I can do a quick math on that. Yeah, so like that's about 86 Fahrenheit. 30.
Oh, Hannah says she misses the Arizona heat. She lives in like Oregon now, right? Isn't that where she lives, or Washington?
Missouri.
She's in Missouri?
Yep.
How did I not know this?
She just moved there.
Oh, okay, that's why. Because I know I've talked to her before, and she said she lived in Arizona. She did live in Arizona, but that she must have lived in Oregon. I thought she did, but let's see. That makes sense.
She was in Arizona before.
Okay.
Yeah.
Robert says, I work outside and it sucks. Yeah, I bet it does. It's, I hope you got right with Jesus, because that ain't nothing.
Damn, man, working outside and that, I can't even imagine it. Like, I work outside, but it's like I can go pop in my truck if I need to. It's not too big of a deal, but damn, man, it's brutal.
Yeah. Oh, man. Eric says, yeah, it was hot one day today and 10 degrees hotter than it was outside in the corner of my shop. Oh, or of the shop. Okay. Okay, that's insane. And then, of course, Kelsey says, I think it was last week, it was somewhere in Iran or Iraq, it was over 150 degrees. Wow.
Crazy. The hottest temperature ever recorded was, I think 157 degrees, and that was like in Death Valley in 1918 or something.
If I'm not mistaken, I believe you could slow cook eggs on that.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Just, absolutely, like, just throw it on a rock and cook it like in Vegas Vacation.
Yeah. Yeah.
then throw up afterwards. But, well, you want to wrap this up? I know you got a little other affairs.
No, I'm good to go. Whatever you need. If you want to keep it going, I'm good for it.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what. I mean, I forgot there was another question. I had it written down, but there was another question I was going to ask. But I will say this, man. Like, when I get mine started, it's no secret that, like, I do want to play the video games and stuff like that, but it's about the connection.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And
I think if that is your main focus, I think Facebook is the place for you to stream.
Absolutely. And and of course, I'm sure Hannah's going to send me that information. And if she doesn't, I'll get you to send it. But, I learned something new. I mean, I didn't know Apple compatibility could do this. And, Apple's trying to catch up on the gaming thing anyway. They had a big announcement back in June or May or something like that.
Oh, okay.
So that they're trying. Well, if you've ever seen the movie Ready Player One, they've got some goggles that are kind of similar to that movie.
And I've never seen it, actually.
Oh, really? Okay. It's actually a pretty good movie.
Might have to check it out.
Absolutely. But yeah, man, I guess we'll wrap this up. You got anything you want to plug? You want to plug this? We can plug the page real quick.
Yeah, no, just if anyone's interested in checking out what we do, you can search the Kaizo Super Stream on Facebook. I may pop up over on Twitch here and there as well. Mm-hmm. But yeah, Monday through Thursday in the evenings, I usually get on at about 9:30 Eastern, and from 2 to 3 hours for every night that we go live. And then Saturday and Sunday mornings, you can catch us at 10 a.m. Eastern.
Fantastic. And I see you, Hannah. I appreciate you. Well, I'm gonna close this thing out, and real quick. And
Hank, thanks for having me on, man. This is great.
Oh, of course, man. And everyone out there, thank you for watching once again another edition of the Hank Russell Invitation, where we try to create a little value and find guests that actually are interesting to talk to as far as creating value in other human beings. So, on that note, y'all have a pleasant evening.